Did you know that in Hmong folklore, dragons are known to be guardians that lives in lakes and rivers? According to the elders, every lake and rivers that you go to will always have a dragon that lives in there, as is the guardian of that place. And if you do anything that it doesn't like, it will attack you, not physically, but spiritually. That is why when you go to the lakes and the elders mention the guardian, they're usually referring it to the dragon that lives in that water. And if a family member ever goes missing while swimming, the elders will always call to the guardian and talk to them to release the person back. Sometimes they will even assume that it's the dragon who took the people. Like for example, you will hear stories of people drowning at lakes or rivers or fishing trips, whatever. Most people will always be like, "Oh, the dragon probably took him," or they probably did something that was wrong, or they probably got swallowed, probably got eaten by the dragon. And yeah, that could be true too. One of the most common thing that makes people, well, most people assume that it's dragons is when after you go fishing or you go towards the lake, you come back and you're sick. Then you're not feeling well or you're very sick. Then you go to the adults, the elders. They will assume that it's the dragons because either one, you probably went over there, your spirit is probably weak, or they probably saw you and they're probably interested. That's why they follow you home. Just like just like what you hear in the stories, like where you go somewhere and then the spirit follows you back home and makes you feel sick and all that stuff. Just like every other spirits, they will enter your dream and talk to you or come and pretend to be your lover or pretend to be interested in you just so they could take your spirit away at the end and probably even eat you up. So don't go near that lake again. There's also a myth where if you're a pregnant lady, you're not allowed to go near lakes or rivers because supposedly dragons they like newborn babies, like they want to eat it. So you're not if you're pregnant, you're not supposed to go near those lakes. Otherwise, dragons will take it. I don't know how, but spiritually or something. I don't know. That's what I heard from the elders. But yeah, so you can lose your baby if you're a pregnant lady and you go near the water. So watch out for that too. And then another thing about dragons that makes it kind of unbelievable or kind of fake is that the elders also say that a big, huge pot of water, such as lakes, um, and if it's clean, then supposedly there's supposed to be villages or houses of the dragons, something like that. So just think of it like Thailand. Think of it like back then when we used to live in Thailand and Laos. You know how there's always villages of people, and villagers and stuff like that. So supposedly dragons also have their own world as well, where it's a village full of people, but they're dragons, and the guardian is supposed to be their, I don't know, the person that watches the village or something. But yeah, and just like we hear in the stories, sometimes dragons get attached to you. They see you and then they'll follow you back home. They'll come in your dreams and be your lover and try to take you away and stuff. And then yeah, it's just exactly like the stories. And then the elders will notice it. They will do shaman. They will fetch shamans to fix you and stuff. However, dragons are more harder to deal with than ghosts and other type of spirits because supposedly in the Hmong culture, dragons are guardians, so they're very powerful. Um, Most shaman try to fix but fail. Meanwhile, some succeeded, but it's just best if you don't run into a dragon. So yeah, in the Hmong community, dragons are very well known spirits. Even now, if you go fishing, because I know there's a lot of people that likes fishing and always go fishing and stuff. Even now, there's still stories of encountering weird things such as dragons or stuff. Usually, dragons they don't show themselves, so you don't see a big snake just coming at you. But then they'll do weird stuff such as making big water waves or tilting your boat a little bit or some weird stuff. So usually nowadays people don't really experience shit like that no more, but then dragons are still common. So if you believe in dragons, then yes, you will most likely encounter them when you go near the water. One thing I forgot to state is So you know how us Hmong people, you will probably realize that a lot of us wear snake bracelets. I don't have one right now. I usually have some, but it's gone now. So the reason why people wear snake bracelet is supposedly supposed to protect you against dragons. So like in the myth, like from far back then, those are supposed to be like actual snakes on your bracelet. And when you do encounter a dragon in the water, then the bracelet will turn into a snake and will fight it or something. I know it sounds stupid, but then I don't know. That's what I heard. That's what you hear in this story. But well, even if it doesn't do that, supposedly bracelets are just there to like defend you against dragons. And that is why if you wear snake bracelet, the dragons wouldn't want to come near you, because think of it like the kryptonite. Like your bracelet, dragons don't want to come near that shit. So if you want to go fishing, you want to go to places, make sure you have a snake bracelet. Another thing that dragons are terrified of are supposed to be goats, because so in the old myth, in the old traditions, dragons and goats have history. They're like, you could say they're like sworn enemies. And the thing is, like, goats, they have very sharp horns, and that's why dragons fear goats. So two of the things that dragons are very afraid of are goats and snake bracelets. Those are the two things in Hmong culture that makes dragon back off. While dragons and those other spirit stuff are more common in Laos or Thailand, it is also common here in the U.S. too. So that's why you often hear stories of like Hmong people drowning at lakes or ghosts missing. Like I said, the Hmong elders will address it as dragons that does it. I mean, it could just be because they drown, or it could just be because they go missing somewhere else. But Hmong people will assume that it's dragons. So just be careful what you do when you go near water. And then another thing I forgot to mention is so you know how the Hmong elders, they be very strict with you. Like when you go to the rivers, they will tell you not to do stuff like for example, if you talk too much or if you mention dragons, they will tell you to shut up. Because they take it very seriously, and in their heart, dragons are real. So you can't just be like, oh, I wonder if there's a dragon in this water, or I wonder. You can't even mention the word dragon when you go fishing or when you go near the water with the elders, because they will get mad. They will tell you to shut up and they will slap you. So because supposedly if you mention them, they will come after you. They will hear you. So that's one of the things about dragons, is that you can't mention them when you go to the water. So the best thing to do is just keep your mouth shut and just think of like what an average white person would. But then again, it just depends on what you really believe, because a lot of Hmong people nowadays, they don't care. They don't believe in any of those stuff. Every time someone mentions it, they'll just be like, "Oh, you just crazy. You just watch too much movies." So yeah, it just depends on what you believe. Even me myself, I don't really think that dragons really exist like that. It's probably just spirits or whatever. But it's just what you believe, man. We don't know what's really true or not, because there has not been a real proof that dragons exist in Hmong culture. It's just the Hmong people that says it, or like mention it when it happens, and they'll just say that, oh, it's a dragon. So, but just be careful when you go near the water. So yeah.